The pass and review serves two functions for the superintendent. It dismisses the cadets and at the same time provides an opportunity to inspect the state of discipline and training. The marches that will be played as the cadets pass and review are America Exultant, the official West Point March, Sabres and Spurs, Inward Cargill, Black Horse Troop, and the Army goes rolling along.
The United States Military Academy Band is under the direction of the Commander and Conductor, Lieutenant Colonel Dae Kim, and the Drum Major, Master Sergeant Anna Pennington. The 1st Regiment is commanded by Cadet Captain Rex Taysom from Canton, Ohio. The Regimental Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Zoe Weimer from Fayetteville, North Carolina. The 1st Battalion is commanded by Cadet Captain Sophia Corona from Carlisle, Pennsylvania. The Battalion Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Christopher Wisman from Vilseck, Germany. Company A is commanded by Cadet Captain Brennan Speaks from Dunwoody, Georgia. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet 1st Sergeant Mitch McMillan from Mason, Ohio. Company B is commanded by Cadet Captain Robert Lubkin from Nahant, Massachusetts. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet 1st Sergeant Ethan Harashuk from Cincinnati, Ohio. Company C is commanded by Cadet Captain Ethan Puerta from San Diego, California. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet 1st Sergeant Owen Hogue from Wilmington, North Carolina. The 2nd Battalion is commanded by Cadet Captain Jack Kish from Huntersville, North Carolina. The Battalion Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Micah Thompson from Short Gap, West Virginia. Company D is commanded by Cadet Captain Ryan Kennedy from Phoenix, Arizona. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet 1st Sergeant Connor Campion from Fairfax, Virginia. Company E is commanded by Cadet Captain Mira Shalat from Marriottsville, Maryland. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet 1st Sergeant Madeline Zays from Alexandria, Virginia. Company F is commanded by Cadet Captain Gene Kang from Cumming, Georgia. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet 1st Sergeant Ozil Carrillo from Rome, Texas. The 3rd Battalion is commanded by Cadet Captain Carden McVeigh from Kingsport, Tennessee. The Battalion Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Mohammed Enjot from Chester, Virginia. Company G is commanded by Cadet Captain Thomas Letcher from Austin, Texas. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet 1st Sergeant Ryan Oberwise Mannion from Los Altos, California.
This one lady right in front of me. Over there. That's what I was trying to do.
Company H is commanded by Cadet Captain Tesfaye Lowe from Mekelle, Ethiopia. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet 1st Sergeant Ian Abdallah from El Paso, Texas. Company I is commanded by Cadet Captain John Heimberg from Merrimack, New Hampshire. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet 1st Sergeant Isabella Tamazian from Williamstown, New Jersey. The 2nd Regiment is commanded by Cadet Captain John Greenfield from Old Forge, Pennsylvania. The Regimental Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Carolyn Heckel from Corning, New York. The 1st Battalion is commanded by Cadet Captain Ryan Palmer from Dana Point, California. The Battalion Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Allison Campbell from Katy, Texas. Company A is commanded by Cadet Captain Sarah Peters from Katy, Texas. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet 1st Sergeant Aaron Fuertes from Pearland, Texas.
Sorry, my angle was like right where the lady was standing up, and all I had was her like head.
Company B is commanded by Cadet Captain Aiden Anderson from Batavia, New York. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet 1st Sergeant Jonathan Searle from Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Stand up.
Company C is commanded by Cadet Captain Jacob Klepper from Vicenza, Italy. The first sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Paul Shetty from Fishers, Indiana. The 2nd Battalion is commanded by Cadet Captain Mercedes Rothrock from Williamsport, Pennsylvania. The Battalion Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Benjamin Luders from Phoenix, Arizona. Company D is commanded by Cadet Captain William Young from South Jordan, Utah. The first sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Michael Gonzalez from Miami, Florida. Company E is commanded by Cadet Captain Samantha Sims from Carl Junction, Missouri. The first sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Trent Merriman from Newport Beach, California. Company F is commanded by Cadet Captain Brennan Garlock from Rochester, New York. The first sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant David De La Torre from Orlando, Florida. The 3rd Battalion is commanded by Cadet Captain Charles Bell from Altoona, Iowa. The Battalion Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Elihu Wagner from San Diego, California. Company G is commanded by Cadet Captain Joseph Schwartz from Middletown, Wisconsin. The first sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Armando Mendez from Guaynabo, Puerto Rico. Company H is commanded by Cadet Captain Trevor Tenpin from Norway, Illinois. The first sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant A.J. Sweet from Boston, Massachusetts. Company I is commanded by Cadet Captain Jonathan Benshaw from Honolulu, Hawaii. The first sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Charles Kretzer from North Attleboro, Massachusetts. Since the days of the American Revolution, flag bearers have been an important element in ceremonies. At the center of today's formation and bearing the national color is the United States Corps of Cadets Color Guard, led by Cadet Color Sergeant Thomas Patton from Bethel, Connecticut. Marching with the colors is the Brigade Operations Sergeant Major, Cadet Sergeant Major Praise Yahweh from Paso Robles, California.
The 3rd Regiment is commanded by Cadet Captain Natalia Johnson from Los Angeles, California. The Regimental Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Anya Prokop from Chevy Chase, Maryland. The 1st Battalion is commanded by Cadet Captain Cameron Rowe from New York, New York. The Battalion Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major McLean Edelston from Burke, Virginia.
Company A is commanded by Cadet Captain Rebecca Presnell from Tallahassee, Florida. The first sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Maria Miroshnichenko from South Lake, Texas.
You okay?
Company B is commanded by Cadet Captain Samantha Carpenter from Wilmington, North Carolina. The first sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Sonny Rogers from San Antonio, Texas.
You worried me. I thought you were fine. Like, are you okay?
Company C is commanded by Cadet Captain McLean Lowe from Saco, Maine. The first sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Jamison Stopper from Naples, Florida. The second battalion is commanded by Cadet Captain Massimo Luciano from Lester Prairie, Minnesota. The battalion Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Nicholas Jones from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Company D is commanded by Cadet Captain Jacob Potter from East Grand Rapids, Michigan. The first sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Alyssa Ray from Lago Vista, Texas. Company E is commanded by Cadet Captain Nicholas Blado from South Lake, Texas. The first sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant John Mathis from Seattle, Washington.
Just tap your foot a little louder. It's good.
Company F is commanded by Cadet Captain Elijah Hampton from Chattanooga, Tennessee. The first sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Evan Galvin from East Aurora, New York. The 3rd Battalion is commanded by Cadet Captain Jeremiah Celestin from Savannah, Georgia. The battalion Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Sloan Anderson from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Company G is commanded by Cadet Captain Edward Jew from Leesburg, Virginia. The first sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Jacob Drone from Overland Park, Kansas. Company H is commanded by Cadet Captain Jacob Bain from Bismarck, North Dakota. The first sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Casey Adams from Cleveland, Ohio. Company I is commanded by Cadet Captain Ethan Thorley from Enumclaw, Washington. The first sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Angelina McCain from Corning, New York. The 4th Regiment is commanded by Cadet Captain Aaron Hunt from Guilford, Connecticut. The Regimental Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Justin Zetterwald from Yorktown, Virginia. The 1st Battalion is commanded by Cadet Captain Joey Lorette from Blue Springs, Missouri. The Battalion Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Sophia Jamino from Wichita, Kansas. Company A is commanded by Cadet Captain Reed Kidd from Alexandria, Virginia. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Jake Lee from San Diego, California. Company B is commanded by Cadet Captain Eric Viziri from Westlake, Ohio. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Lucy Halter from Madison, Alabama. Company C is commanded by Cadet Captain Jared Coastland from Glastonbury, Connecticut. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Alexandra Franke from Delafield, Wisconsin. The 2nd Battalion is commanded by Cadet Captain Aidan Smart from Port Murray, New Jersey. The Battalion Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Luke Dwyer from Syracuse, New York. Company D is commanded by Cadet Captain Silas Hawkinsmith from Greensville, Indiana. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Hudson Smith from Hendersonville, Tennessee. Company E is commanded by Cadet Captain Jack Wilson from Florence, South Carolina. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Susie Leonard from Cypress, Texas. Company F is commanded by Cadet Captain Jaden Jang from Stamford, Connecticut. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Nadia Zawinski from Bend, Oregon. 3rd Battalion is commanded by Cadet Captain Joshua Crowder from Gastonia, North Carolina. The battalion Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Paul Chow from Irvine, California. Company G is commanded by Cadet Captain Grace Case from Pinehurst, North Carolina. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet 1st Sergeant Faith Kibbe from Green Bay, Wisconsin.
They might have. Let me see how they march that.
Company H is commanded by Cadet Captain Quentin Weeks from Kansas City, Missouri. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet 1st Sergeant Francis Tay from Cornwall-on-Hudson, New York.
On the other side, yeah.
Company I is commanded by Cadet Captain Owen Stout from St. Louis, Missouri. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet 1st Sergeant Aiden Meza from Somers, New York.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the Army song. The Army goes rolling along. Please feel free to sing along as it is played.